In the autumn of 1944, Japan was building pilots specifically designed to die, not metaphorically. The training syllabus was 30 days, takeoff, navigation, and a single dive. Landing was not on the curriculum. The Kamikaze program is one of the most psychologically strange military decisions in modern history, and it makes no sense unless you understand what Japan was trying to solve. The answer, it turns out, was centuries old. To get there, you have to go back to 1868. Japan had spent centuries as a feudal society, run by a warrior class called the samurai. Then the Meiji Restoration happened. In roughly one generation, Japan dismantled its entire social order and rebuilt itself as an industrialized nation-state, complete with a modern army, a modern navy, and a modern empire. The samurai class was formally abolished, but the values they carried, Bushido, the code of the warrior, did not disappear. They got repackaged. The Japanese military took Bushido's core idea that death in service to one's lord was the highest possible honor and rewired it for the 20th century. Now the lord was the emperor. The samurai sword became a Zero fighter plane. This mattered enormously by 1944 because Japan had a problem it could not solve with conventional tactics. The United States was outproducing Japan in ships, aircraft, and pilots at a ratio that was simply not recoverable. By mid-1944, American shipyards were launching more tonnage per month than Japan had lost in 3 years of war. Japan had run the early part of the Pacific War on tactical brilliance and institutional courage, but by the time of the Battle of Leyte Gulf, they were running out of both trained pilots and planes. Vice Admiral Takejiro Onishi done the math. In a conventional engagement, Japanese aircraft were being destroyed before they could reliably hit anything. The accuracy rate on traditional bombing runs against fast-moving American warships was devastatingly low. But a plane flown directly into a ship's deck was, in a brutal sense, a precision weapon. One plane, one hit, guaranteed. Onishi formally established the Special Attack Units in October 1944. He named them Kamikaze, after the divine winds. Those were the typhoons of 1274 and 1281 that had destroyed the Mongol invasion fleets before they reached Japan's shores. The name was not accidental. It told the pilots exactly what they were, not soldiers on a mission, but a force of nature in service of a nation. The men who volunteered, and most of them did volunteer, at least formally, were young. University students, conscripts, barely past their teens, men who had grown up inside an educational system that had been teaching Bushido as civic religion since they could read. Many wrote final letters home that were composed, even peaceful. Some were terrified, some believed completely. The historian Emiko Onuki Tierney spent years studying these letters. What she found was something closer to resignation dressed in borrowed philosophy, not the fanaticism most people expect. The program ran for 10 months. Roughly 3,800 kamikaze pilots died. They sank 34 American ships and damaged nearly 400 more. By any military accounting, the damage was real, but it was not enough. The American fleet absorbed the losses and kept advancing. Each kamikaze attack required Japan to spend a trained pilot and an aircraft. The math, even on the favorable side, still ran the wrong direction. And then there were the survivors. Pilots who were assigned a mission, flew out, and came back because of mechanical failure, weather, or a target they could not reach. They were not celebrated, they were reassigned. Some were quietly shunned. A man who had been sent to die and had not died occupied an uncomfortable category that Japanese military culture had no clean way to process. Yoshinori Kamada, one of the few survivors who spoke publicly in later decades, described returning to base after an aborted mission and finding that the other men simply looked away. Japan surrendered on August 15, 1945. The program ended. The divine winds had not come. What the Kamikaze program reveals is not fanaticism in a vacuum. It reveals what happens when a military culture built on the honor of dying decides it is losing. The samurai code had always contained this logic. The 20th century just gave it an engine and a payload. The code survived the sword by 76 years. The empire it served did not survive the war.